Alright guys, welcome back to my video, and yep, Gundam Eternal finally gonna give us a PvP. Yeah, it's gonna be rolling next week. And does feel like it's kind of a beta test for the PvP actually, because you see it's season 0, right? So this mostly they're gonna do is to test how the PvP gonna work, because this is the first time SD Gundam actually do PvP, I think, and I think they want to make it right. So make sure to actually tell them your impression of this PvP event, and hopefully it's gonna be a very good and long-lasting event for everyone. And seeing from their prices, I do kind of seems this is interesting, because they gave us the ultimate development and also this SP. I really want more SP, because this SP makes a lot of SSR Gundam becomes great, and make you not really have to depend too much on the UR Gundam, except their pilots, right? So you can just move their pilots into these SSR Gundams. And the other one is this, the weapon upgrade for the UR Gundam, and currently we only have this like 6 a month. So yeah, this is a nice price to give, but I do personally think they should give us a little bit more diamonds, because yeah, diamonds is really scarce in this game. I mean, I know the game is like, you don't really have to have pull the next character. You don't have, I mean, the FOMO is kind of low, to be honest, for me, because the SSR is great. The SSR is great. This game is great. It's just that they've been locked behind this SP. So I do think giving us more SP could actually kind of offset the balance a bit, so we don't really have to rely on diamonds. If they give us a lot more SP, that actually might help with the not having too much diamond actually. So you actually enjoy the game from the development part, which is usually the core part of the SD Gundam series, right? So yeah, they're gonna have like the rules, like it's actually a score battle, and then when you have certain score, you're gonna increase your league. And I think from this picture, they're gonna give us diamonds, not just points to buy these items, but also diamonds, which should be nice. Hopefully it's enough. Okay, and one thing that we need to check is actually here. So the priority of the Gundam that's gonna move is based on their mobility and reaction. And here you can see they actually kind of list which Gundam gonna move first, and you see first is New Gundam, and then Freedom, and then Unicorn, Striker, Aerial, the Gundam, and then finally Narrative, right? So from here we see that mobility based characters and reaction based characters, which have to be honest, like so far in the game, when you're actually playing against computers, I mean the AIs and the PvEs, it sometimes don't really matter. I mean, yeah, they can evade once in a while, but it all depends on luck. But here in this PvP, you gonna move first, so you have to watch this start. And the stage is gonna be space, and the boost is protagonist and rival. So what I want to tell you guys today is there are some Gundams that you might want to watch out a little bit, right? And one of them is, yes, he's here, the mighty Wing Gundam Zero. The reason is, if you see on his stat here, I get him to 100. I of course I love this Gundam. I gonna have to like limit break 3 and get it 100, and you see how insane the mobility stat is, like 9,400. As a comparison, you can see here, which is ZETA actually has a 10,000 at level limit break 3 level 100, and for the O Gundam, it actually like 10,600 for limit break 3. Again, limit break 3. at level 100 for UR. So basically Wing Zero mobility is on par with those two if they are only limit break 2, because limit break 1 is 20%, limit break 2 is like 30%, and limit break 3 is like 40%. So if you subtract like around 10% of the points, is like around 9,100 or 9,200, which funnily enough, this bad boy is still like standing here like 9,400. And okay, I used this modification, so let's pull down the modification for now, and we're gonna see like, yeah, this guy has 9,000 attack. As a comparison, here New Gundam at just limit break 0 has a 7,000 attack. If you increase that by 20%, it will be 8,400, right? New Gundam at limit break 1 will give it around 8,400, 8,500 or 8,600, with mobility around like 8,800. Sorry, yeah, mobility will be higher, 9,600, but the attack will be lower if it's a limit break 1. So Wing Gundam Zero is one of the unit you have kind of like, you know, be careful about. Not just because of this mobility, but it's actually, it has an insanely high attack for the supporter. Again, the role, he's a supporter, and as a comparison, his Yakushiki as an attacker, he has a very high mobility and an attack, like 11,000. So compared to the standard UR, like, yeah, the Gundam has equal attack, almost equal attack, the freaking X here. Not just that, this guy is also having like range 5 attack. This one is like range 5 attack with accuracy 90%, but it can be offset, and it increases the beam weapon damage by 30%. I just don't know what they did with the Gundam Zero, man. Like, Wing Zero is like freaking busted. And I haven't talked about this guy, Rolling Buster Rifle, which is like, you see his like, what, 4 diamond blocks around him. So yeah, the guy's gonna move first, and if, I don't know how they're gonna put your Gundams against each other, but if your opponent's Gundam is close enough and there are at least 2 of them, the guy will start with Rolling Buster Rifle on the get-go. It's like, just gotta kaboom everything on sight. So yeah, you gotta be careful with this guy. If you want to build him, yeah, this is kind of good investment for it. And for the AOE, is like what, 3-3 is okay, but the area is what actually matters for this one. And yeah, that's one from Wing Gundam Zero. And the other one I want to talk about is, yes, this guy Hyakushi is like, bro, it has a very high mobility. With SP, it's very high mobility, and also it's like a very high attack. Not to mention that it can actually reduce damage taken from beam weapons. So if your opponent is like using a lot of beam stack, this guy's gotta shrug it off, man. Bro, and the mega launcher is like, okay, it's only 3-5 in a straight line. That's nothing much. But this clay bazooka, it gives you damage based on the remaining HP. So if you move first, if this guy move first, he gonna hit you full power on the get-go. And this is like what? Range 4, man. It's a range attack. I'm sorry, it's just so ridiculous. The SSR, when you actually special get them to level 100, they are just ridiculous, man. Another candidate is like, yeah, this is not as good as Yakushiki, but Appian, you're gonna have to be careful with this guy as well, because it has critical increase. Again, it has insanely high attack and has a great mobility. So if you're just facing like mostly a limit break 0 kind of a UR unit, yeah, this guy gonna have a field day, man. This guy gonna hit them hard. And this one is okay, but the base power is 5-4, which is great. This one, the beam sword, it also has like, okay, it got, first turn it got low, and the second turn he start to attack. Yeah, he gonna hit you hard with this thing. So I don't think you need to like be careful against the SSR unit, because once they hit level 100, limit break 3, which is much easier to get than getting a UR to limit break 2. Yeah, this guy is gonna be the one that wreak havoc in the field. Another one that I want to point out is, of course, the star of the last event, Amatsu. Yes, Amatsu is great. If you got him to special, and then also you get the special equip, which is the increased attack by 7%. And then this guy has the AoE with power of 4200. Yes, it only has one attack for this one, only can be used once, but bro, I mean, it's a PvP. I don't think it's gonna last like 3 turns, you know? So first turn getting hit with this thing, yeah, it's gonna be pretty nasty, man. And this one is also great, 5-1 special, hard to avoid. And then this one is physical, it's okay. This one is increased critical, but it's a bit too low compared to the Trisera Sky and Magano Shirahoko. You better focus on these two, and also the Magano Ikutachi. Yeah, this guy gonna slaps. And then you have to see regarding the tanks. Okay, for tanks, I would like to talk about more on the pilots, because the pilots was important for tanks. And that in that matter, Yona Basa gonna be very, very busted, because this guy blocks twice. You can just put him into a, maybe not the fastest Gundam. I mean, you can put it with narrative, right? Narrative, like, okay, narrative guy. If the opponents play with a special weapon, yeah, narrative gonna block it. They're gonna shrug it off, right? But the problem is with Yona Basta's ability to block twice. This is important. So even though he won't move first, but being the center of the team, he could actually take at least 2 damage from the opponents, right? And then here's the thing: 50% HP restore. I'm not gonna show how the AI gonna use this, but yeah, this is pretty dope, man. This is strong. This is strong in PvP. I mean, even in PvE, this is actually kind of strong, because I cannot use it in some of Eternal states, and it helps a lot. Getting your HP repaired by 50% is a lot, man. A lot for a tank is a lot. And for the tank unit, I do think like narrative was okay. Gundam, okay. The thing is, what narrative is, narrative has the AoE ability, the high mega cannon that attack down 15% with actually quite a hefty size attack. So I do think it's pretty great. The barrage is okay because it's just accuracy down. I mean, if you combine this guy with Wing Gundam, yeah, man, it's gonna get a hell of a problem for your opponents. Other than that, it's not much actually. So it does only rely on being a tank and use the high mega cannon. So maybe on the second turn, or maybe because it's relatively slow compared to the other Gundam, they move first, get in close, and then when Yona start, maybe the AI gonna like heal and then shoot the AoE. So that's the the best scenario we can have. And one more thing, like, of course the UR unit gonna be great, but Strike Freedom and also New Gundam gonna have a much more advantage over the others because of the high mobility. But don't sleep on the likes of Sazabi, because Sazabi has this funnel. Wait, is a beam tomahawk? Oh yeah, the funnel. The funnel is actually kinda great when you are actually losing HP. So Sazabi is actually okay with having less mobility than the others, even it want to take damage, I think. And then if this funnel being powered up, to like this is only 4,000, but it has wait, sorry, it's 4,600 with 12%. So yeah, it's pretty great actually. But his base attacks are very strong. This long rival EX thing, and the other one that I mean, Axia is gonna still be great, man. Axia is just Axia, okay? Like, but I do think the problem with Axia is the GN field. When damage taken is 4,500 or less, there is no effect. So it's more a bully kind of unit. So, but mostly if the opponent hits you quite hard, more harder than this, you actually receive a lot of damage. So personally, it's not as tanky as a tank would want. But yeah, but I think there are some tanks who actually wants to be attacked. Oh, like this one. Okay, I forgot about Sasabi again. He lower the HP, increase the attack. So mobility is not all in this, right? But you might want to have some unit which is high mobility and some unit which is like a bit lower mobility but can hit quite hard. And the last one that I want to point out is don't sleep on the ultimate SSR unit. This unit has ability that increase their own attack and defense against certain opponents. So this is more like a counter meta unit. For example, let's say what I say was happening. Everybody's running Gundam Wing Zero, right? In that sense, you would want to actually bring Gundam Aquarius to the scene, because Aquarius has increased damage and defense against Wing series. If there are a lot of people actually playing something from Gundam Seed, and then Hyperion gonna be a great unit. And I mean, even without that, Hyperion is already great unit because of increased HP and reduced damage taken from ranged weapon, which you gotta say a lot of Gundams out there is using ranged weapon most of the time, right? So yeah, the ultimate unit could actually be your a key player depending on how many people use certain units from certain series. So that also include the Psycho Mark III, which to be honest, I don't really like Psycho Mark III. It doesn't do much compared to the Armor Lumiere guy. I mean, Hyperion Gundam. Yeah, it only has like increased accuracy and depth. Like, it's not that great. But the other one that actually might take the cake at a very strong character of Gundam is the Caswell Gundam, because Caswell Gundam has increased attack, increased accuracy. This is important. Accuracy all this time, because when you fight against like the likes of the AI opponents, accuracy doesn't really feel that great. Maybe yeah, sometimes it sucks to miss your attack, but most of the time, you can get away with 95 accuracy, like 95%. But once you got into PvP and you fight the likes of Wing Gundam and the likes of like Hyakuseki, that they have a lot of evasion, then yeah, you kind of need something with higher accuracy. So Caswell Gundam might actually be taking the cake as one a very good counter, especially if your opponent is a lot of playing UC Gundams, Gundam coming from the Gundam series. If they are playing like Machu or Suji, yeah, you can counter it with the Caswell Gundam, because again, it starts with quite high attack, and also its kick is based on HP, and it does have a quite nice mobility. So yeah, it's quite great for PvP, I think. And regarding pilot, regarding pilots, you might actually want to mix some of the pilot with the SSR unit instead of going with their native or supposed unit they can use. For example, like Wing Zero, I don't think you would want to actually use a level 80 Hero Yui, because yeah, that's okay, but you need reaction. You need a high reaction to actually get move first in a match. So you might actually want to put someone like not Amuro is actually, but ironically is Kira Yamato is very good in Gundam Wing. I tried several times, and he's one of the best in Gundam Wing because of the range and also the reaction. Yes, you won't be able to activate this when increased to 15% and using mistaken. Yes, it's quite a matter, but you still have other abilities in, and the reaction combined with wings mobility, yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Um, Unless you want, more damage, you can go with Emi Zimbalis, but mainly you will want to use your UR pilots, though they don't bring their own, signature Gundam. For example, you want to use Amatsu, right? You just put Setsuna in Amatsu because Setsuna has a nice reaction and very strong melee. So that's how you're gonna play around the character. And yep. So yeah, I'm pretty excited with the PvP. I hope it's gonna be great. If it's not, yeah, there'll have a lot of complaints they're gonna send, so they can actually improve the gameplay. So that's all from me today, and see you next time. Bye bye.